Okay, I'm Greg Marshall, and I'm over here with Parker Lee. I'm going to ask him a couple of questions to go ahead and help you guys, understand the best ways to work out and get those fitness results that you want. So, Parker, the first question I have is, what are the biggest misconceptions that you have noticed when people, when they talk about fitness and getting in shape?
I think the biggest misconception I hear is I can do a lot of high reps is going to get me toned, and a lot of low reps are going to build muscle.
Okay.
That's probably the biggest misconception I hear there, which is completely untrue. Muscles do two things.
Okay.
They either get bigger or they get smaller.
Okay.
Can't really tone a muscle. Toning is losing fat.
Okay.
So either high reps, low reps, you're going to build muscle doing either or. It's kind of just mixing things up. One's not going to do one or the other.
Okay, so when people talk about, I'm going to do high rep or low reps, where do you think some of these ideas came from? And, what is maybe a quick, tip that you can give them for how to start now? So if you're just beginning, should you start doing high reps or low reps now? How does that work?
Oh, that's a good question. If you're just starting, it's good to start a little bit lighter. Obviously, you want to make sure you're having good form. Is going to be the quickest way to get results. You can try to go really heavy weight, have crappy form, and either you're going to get injured or you're not doing things correctly, you're not putting the muscle under enough tension. So if you're just starting, you want to make sure you're doing things right, have good form, probably start a little bit lighter.
Okay. And I know another question is, should you do machines or free weights? Which one's better? Which ones are worse?
That's a good question. I don't think there's one specifically better. Just depends on what your goals are. If you really don't have perfect form down, you're not sure what you're doing, I would prefer machines. That's going to make sure your joints are a lot safer. You're not going to have injuries that way. It's a lot more fluid motion on a machine compared to a free weight.
Okay, and for some of you who sometimes may get confused, could you explain the difference between what is a rep and what is a set? Because sometimes I hear people say they mix those two up, and so they get confused on the workout. So could you explain that?
Yeah, that's a good question. I hear that a lot too.
Yeah.
So a set would be how many reps you're doing per set. So your first set, you're going to do maybe 12 reps, 12 times for the exercise.
Okay.
And then the second time you do it would be your second set.
Okay.
So the set is the number of times you're doing the exercise. The rep is how many times per that set.
For that group?
For that group.
So you're saying, essentially what you're saying is a set is the 12 times?
Yes.
That is the set.
For that one time, yep.
Okay.
You take a break, you go maybe 15 times. The second time, that would be your second set.
And then, so what about rest periods? How long should people be resting in between their sets?
That's a good question. Rest periods kind of depends on what your goal is. I like a little bit lower rest periods, keep your heart rate up. If your goal is to burn fat, you want to keep your heart rate moving. People that are looking for strength, you're going to do a little bit longer rest periods. Where you're sitting there talking and relaxing, you stop losing the sweat a little bit, you're resting too long.
All right. Well, that was Parker Lee, and once again, I'm Greg Marshall. I want to go ahead and thank you for watching the video. If you have any questions or want to take advantage of your free fitness assessment, just go ahead and send an email to the email below, and we'll go ahead and get you scheduled. Thanks a lot.